Mm. I'm just clap so later on I can sync the audio with the video.
Okay.
All right. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Mary Howard.
Um, and how old are you turning today?
79 years old.
Um, what has been your like most memorable birthday?
Well, all my birthdays are memorable. Because I've just been a person to always be thankful to have another birthday. So I don't have a special year.
Mm-hmm.
All my years are special.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thankful to be having another birthday, to be another years older.
Oh, we're thankful to have you here another year. Oh, speaking of birthdays, well, I guess growing up, when you were like a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I always told my mom that I wanted to work with the airplane. I wanted to travel a lot. And after years went by, I changed my mind from that. I said I wanted to be a school teacher. But after I finished high school, I didn't go to college. But what I learned in elementary school and high school, I did put it to pretty good use by helping others when I could with that education and doing a lot of work voluntarily at school, at the health department, never for a regular job, just volunteering. And so I did so much at school until some of the people in the county thought I was a school teacher. But I wasn't a school teacher. I was just helping out as much as I could.
So you would say you you grew up wanting and like liking to help out.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So like, what would you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for doing what I could do for anybody that needed it. Anybody that needed me to help them out doing something that they weren't able to do, and I knew that I could help them. I would like to be remembered for that, because so many people have helped me, and I thank them for that. And I really think by others helping me, I should be able to help someone else. And so that's what I really would like to be remembered for,
Mm-hmm.
helping others.
You want to move them? The pillows
The pillows?
over her head.
No, it's fine.
Oh.
So you would say you're blessed to be a blessing.
I'm blessed to be a blessing.
What would you say would be the most significant life lesson that you've learned?
What you can do for others, someone will always return it back to you. If you help someone, someone will always help you. It might not be in the way that you help them that you receive it back, but you will receive that blessing back in many other ways sometimes. But you'll receive a blessing for helping someone else. And never think that you can do too much for someone. Always be willing, but do it in your willingness. If you're not willing to do it, don't do it. Because I always said, even in my childhood days, if anybody do anything for me, I wanted it to be done willingly. Because if it wasn't, if you give me something or do something for me that you wasn't willing to do, I didn't feel welcome to it. But if you give it honestly from your heart and you mean it, then I feel welcome. But when I was growing up, if I needed something, and I would ask my mom or my dad, could they get it for me? And they say they didn't have the money or they couldn't afford it right then, I never would ask for it anymore. Because I felt that if they could have did it, if they could have gotten it for me, they would, have gotten it. But I didn't want to badger them for doing it, because if they went out the way to do it, like borrowing to give it to me, I didn't felt that I really needed it. But if they tell me that they couldn't do it, I was satisfied, because if I knew that they could do it, they would have. But I want people to always support me with their willingness, what I'm welcome to. Because I don't give nobody anything that they're not welcome to. I don't give nobody nothing that I don't want. I've heard people say, I don't want this. I'm just going to give it to such and such a person. You don't give anybody anything you don't want. Why do you think they want it if you don't want it? So I don't want to give anybody anything that I don't want, because I feel they might not want it either. I give people things that I know they need, but not because I just don't want it. I might not can use it and I give it, but not because I don't want it. You might say I'm such a difficult person, but that's just the way I am.
Let's move the camera right here. You can still just look at me.
Okay.
So, you mentioned your parents. What were some, I guess, things that you took from them and their like parenting style? So, like, what were some things where growing up you thought, like, I want to be like this type of parent because of something that your parents did or didn't do?
Oh, well, my mom, she was a very sweet lady. Anything she could do for anybody, she would do it. And she didn't mind doing it. She was very helpful in the community, with everybody in the community, and particularly church. When I was about 2 and 3 years old, I can remember walking a mile to Sunday school every morning. Me, my mom, and my foster brother. And the people who lived between our house and the church, it was some more houses. And she would she would ask them, come on, walk with us to Sunday school. And so it was some children and some grown-ups, but the grown-ups wouldn't go, but they did let the children go. So when we first left home, wasn't but just three of us. My mom, me, and my foster brother. And the next house, we would stop and get those. Next house, we would stop and get those. We were just like an Uber car.
Mm-hmm.
And the next, but we were walking.
Mm-hmm.
The next house, we would stop and we would pick up those. When we got to Sunday school, it was a whole road full of my mom and children going walking to Sunday school.
Oh.
And we just enjoyed it so much. And after Sunday school, we would walk back home. We would stop at the first house, put those off, walk to the next house, put those off. And when we get back home, it was just the three of us. And sometime after walking back home, the Trailway and Greyhound buses was running then. And we would walk, we live right close to the highway. And we would walk out by the highway, stop the bus, and go by, I'll say about 3 miles up the road to another church. We would go there to service. And the other bus would come back down the road about 4 o'clock. We would catch that bus and come back home. So, my mom, she was just, she was a Christian like lady.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad I took that part after her. Any way that she could do anything to help anybody in the community or out of the community, she was just a good mom for us and others, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, he was a helpful person too. He was a military man. He had been in the military. My dad was a pretty good bit older than my mom, but he was a real good man by helping and everybody around, you know, they loved him for that. And so I had a pretty good mom and dad.
Okay.
Sure did. I'm thankful for them.
And what were their names?
My mom was Gussie Pearl Carricker Daniel. My mom didn't get married until I was 8 years old. And she married a Daniel. And he was named Robert Daniel. Everybody called him Hewitt. But my dad was John Thomas Searcy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what you said he was in the military? What branch of the military was he in?
Well, back then, I think he was in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he got any far than a private too.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in the Army. And my stepdad also, he was a military man. He was in the Navy.
Oh,
He
okay.
went to the Navy. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if anybody has any questions they like to ask, y'all free to ask. Wait 1 second.